Listen, speak, and learn English.
Hey there! Hello and welcome back to the Listen, Speak, Learn English podcast. I'm Emma and I am absolutely thrilled you're tuning in today. We have a topic that I think is going to be a total game changer for your English journey.
Oh, definitely. Hi, everyone. I'm Jack. And yeah, Emma, I was actually thinking about this on my way to the studio today. We talk a lot about what to study, grammar, vocab, all that stuff, but we don't always talk about the how, specifically how to actually keep going when life gets in the way.
Exactly. Right? It's that initial burst of motivation that's easy, but then, Tuesday happens. Work gets busy, you're tired, and suddenly your English books are just gathering dust.
Totally. It's that day 3 slump. You start with all this fire and then poof, it's gone.
I've been there, trust me. But that's why today we're diving deep into tracking and accountability. We're talking about how to turn English from a chore into a habit using some really simple tools.
See, now when you say tools, some people might think of complex software or expensive planners, but it doesn't have to be that way, does it?
Not at all. In fact, one of the most powerful things you can do is just get a red marker and a calendar. Have you ever heard of the don't break the chain method, Jack?
Oh, is that the Jerry Seinfeld thing? Where he just puts an X on the calendar every day he writes a joke?
Yes, precisely. And it sounds so basic, right? You might think, Emma, how is a little red X going to help me master the present perfect? But honestly, there's something psychological about it. Once you see a string of 5, 6, 7 check marks, you really don't want to see a blank space the next day.
Right. It's like a mini game with yourself. I actually started doing something similar with my morning runs. For the first week, I was miserable, but by day 10, I looked at my app and saw that 10-day streak, and I was like, well, I can't stop now. I've come too far.
That's the spirit. It's that visual proof of your hard work. When you're learning a language, progress can feel, invisible sometimes. You don't always feel like you're getting better every single day.
True, it's a slow burn.
It really is. So when you can't feel the progress in your brain, you need to see it on your wall or on your phone. It validates the effort.
I like that. Validating the effort. So for our listeners who are intermediate learners, they're already past the basics. They're in that middle ground where things get a bit tough. Would you suggest they track time or tasks?
Ooh, good question. Personally, I'm a fan of tracking the win. If you spent 15 minutes listening to this podcast, that's a win. Put a check mark. If you learned 3 new phrasal verbs, check mark.
Fair enough. So it's less about I studied for 4 hours and more about I showed up today.
Precisely. Consistency over intensity. Every single time. If you do 10 minutes every day, you are going to soar past someone who does 5 hours once every 2 weeks.
No doubt about it. It's like building muscle. You can't just go to the gym for 24 hours straight and expect to come out looking like a bodybuilder.
Oh man, imagine that. That would be painful. But you're right, it's the daily repetition. And besides the physical calendar, there are some great apps out there. I know a lot of people use things like Notion or even just a simple habit tracker on their phone.
Yeah, I've seen some people use those bullet journals too. They make them look like works of art.
Oh, they're beautiful. But hey, if you aren't an artist, a simple language journal works wonders. Just a notebook where you jot down one thing you learned that day.
That's a solid idea. It's like a diary, but for your brain's growth.
Exactly. And speaking of growth, it's not just about tracking yourself in a vacuum. Sometimes you need a little outside pressure.
Ah, you mean accountability partners.
You nailed it. But let's save the study buddy talk for just a second because I want to talk more about these journals first.
So, Emma, you mentioned the language journal before we took a breath there. I'm curious, when you say journal, do you mean like a Dear Diary, today I ate a sandwich kind of thing, but in English?
If the sandwich was particularly life-changing, sure. But no, not exactly. A language journal is more of a let's call it a discovery log. It's a place where you record the wins, the aha moments, and even the stuff that's totally confusing you.
Right, right. So it's not just a list of vocabulary words, because I remember in school I had pages and pages of words, and honestly, looking back at them now, they're just dead words on a page. I don't remember any of them.
Exactly, and that's the trap. A list of words is just data. A journal is a conversation with yourself. For example, instead of just writing the word overwhelmed, you could write, "Today at work, I felt overwhelmed because I couldn't follow the meeting."
Ah, I see. So you're connecting the English to your actual life. That makes it much stickier for the brain, doesn't it?
Way stickier. It gives the language a home, and the tracking part comes in when you look back at the end of the week. If you see 5 entries where you used new words in context, that is a massive psychological boost.
It's funny you say that. I actually started using a digital version of this on my phone, just a simple notes app. Every time I hear a cool idiom in a movie, I pop it in there with a little note about the scene. It's less formal than a paper journal, but it works for me.
Oh, absolutely. Digital, analog, it doesn't matter. The magic is in the act of recording it. It signals to your brain that this information is important enough to keep.
Totally. But let's be real for a second. Sometimes writing in a journal feels like, well, another task on a long to-do list. How do you keep it from feeling like homework?
That is such a fair point. I think the key is to keep it short. I tell my students the 1 sentence rule, just 1 sentence a day. If you want to write more, great. But if you're exhausted, just 1 sentence counts as a win on your tracker.
I love that, the one sentence rule. It removes that wall of effort. It's hard to say you're too busy to write one sentence, right?
Exactly. You're removing the excuses. And when you look back at a month's worth of sentences, you start to see patterns. You might notice, hey, I keep using the same 3 adjectives. Maybe I should find some synonyms this week.
See, that's where the intermediate level really kicks in. You're not just learning English, you're observing how you use English. It's like being your own coach.
Spot on, Jack. You're becoming self-aware. And that's really the goal of tracking. It's not just about the check marks, it's about the data you're collecting on your own progress. So, Jack, let's talk about the elephant in the room. What happens when life hits? You've got a 10-day streak, you're feeling like an English superstar, and then, boom, you get sick, or your car breaks down and you miss a day, or two.
Oh man, that's the worst feeling. For me, once I miss one day, it's so easy to miss the second day. It's like that all or nothing mentality kicks in. You think, well, the streak is broken, I might as well just stop for the rest of the week.
Ugh, I know that feeling all too well. It's so discouraging. But here's the thing we need to remember. A gap on your calendar doesn't erase the work you did before it.
Right, but it feels like it does, doesn't it? It's like starting back at zero.
It does feel like that, but it's a total lie your brain tells you. I actually have a rule for this. It's called never miss twice.
Never miss twice. Okay, I'm listening. Tell me more.
So, missing one day is an accident. Life happens, it's fine. But missing the second day, that's the start of a new habit, a habit of not doing it. So, if you miss Monday, your only job on Tuesday is to show up for 5 minutes, just to get that X back on your calendar.
That's actually really powerful. It takes the pressure off being perfect, because let's be honest, nobody's perfect for 365 days a year.
No way, not even the teachers. I've had days where I didn't want to look at a book, but if you have that never miss twice mindset, you forgive yourself quickly and move on.
I think that forgiving yourself part is huge. I've seen so many learners get so angry at themselves for losing a streak on an app like Duolingo or whatever. They get so frustrated that they actually delete the app.
It's wild, isn't it? The tool that was supposed to help them ends up making them feel like a failure. That's why the journal and the calendar are just tools. They aren't the boss of you. You are the boss of them.
I like that. I am the boss of my calendar.
Exactly. And if you miss a day, just write "life happened" in your journal and start fresh the next morning. It's about the long game, Jack. We aren't trying to be perfect for a week. We're trying to be consistent for a year.
The long game. That's a good way to put it. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And in a marathon, if you trip and fall, you don't just sit on the ground and give up, right? You get back up and keep running.
Precisely. And sometimes the best way to make sure you get back up is to have someone running next to you, which is actually the perfect lead in to talking about accountability groups.
Ah, the buddy system. I've used that for a few things, and it really changes the energy.
So, we've talked about the solo stuff, the journals, the calendars, but Jack, let's be honest, doing this all by yourself in a room can get a little lonely?
Oh, 100%. It's like being on a deserted island trying to build a boat. You have the tools, but sometimes you just need someone to say, "Hey, that boat looks great," or "Watch out, you're putting that nail in the wrong spot."
Exactly. And that's where the practice buddy or a buddy group comes in. It's a total game changer for accountability because it's one thing to let yourself down, but it's another thing to let a friend down.
Right? It's that social pressure, but the good kind. If I know you're waiting for me at 7 p.m. for a quick English chat, I'm gonna be there, even if I'm tired, even if I just want to watch Netflix.
Exactly. It's that commitment to another person. I've seen some great examples of this online lately. People are joining these Discord servers or WhatsApp groups specifically for English learners. Have you seen those?
Yeah, I have. And what I like about the good ones is that they aren't just for studying. They're for sharing the journey. People post pictures of their trackers or share a funny idiom they found. It makes it feel like a community.
Absolutely. And it doesn't have to be a big group. Even just one partner works. But the key, and this is important, is to set a checking in schedule. Not just, oh, let's talk sometimes, but let's message each other every Friday to report our progress.
See, that Friday report is a brilliant idea. It forces you to look back at your week. If you know you have to tell your partner, hey, I did 5 days of practice, it gives you that extra little push on Wednesday when you're feeling lazy.
It really does. And you know what else it does? It normalizes the struggle. When your buddy says, man, I really struggled with prepositions this week, you realize, oh, it's not just me. I'm not bad at English. This stuff is just hard.
That's such a relief to hear, honestly, because we often compare our insides to everyone else's outsides. We see people speaking perfectly on YouTube and think we're the only ones struggling.
Precisely. Accountability groups pull back the curtain. They show you that everyone is on a path. And hey, for those of you listening, if you don't have a buddy yet, you can use the comment section of our podcast. Treat that as your accountability log. Tell us one thing you did today.
I love that. Use us as your virtual buddies. We're here for it. Now, Emma, we live in the age of the smartphone. We've got apps for everything. But I have to ask, do you think notifications are a blessing or a curse?
Oh, Jack, that is the million-dollar question. I think they're a sharp tool. If you use them right, they're helpful. If you use them wrong, they just become background noise that you ignore.
Right? Like I have about 50 apps that ping me every day. After a while, my brain just filters them out. It's like the boy who cried wolf.
Exactly. So the trick with using digital reminders for English is to make them specific and timed. Don't just set a reminder that says, study English. That's too vague. Your brain will see that and think, ugh, later.
So what would a better reminder look like?
Maybe something like, listen to 5 minutes of Jack and Emma, or write one sentence in your journal. And, this is the big one, set it for a time when you are actually able to do it.
Ah, so don't set it for 3 p.m. if you're always in a meeting at 3 p.m.
Exactly. You're just training yourself to hit dismiss. Set it for when you're on the bus or right after you put the kids to bed. Use the if-then logic.
If-then? Break that down for me.
It's a psychology trick. If I sit down with my morning coffee, then I will open my English app. You're attaching the new habit to an old one.
Oh, I've heard of that. Habit stacking, right?
You got it. And you can use your phone to bridge that gap. A simple calendar alert that pops up right when you start your coffee can be that little nudge you need to stay on track.
I've actually started doing something similar with my smart speaker. I have it set to play an English news briefing as soon as my alarm goes off. I don't even have to think about it.
That is genius. You're automating your accountability. You've removed the decision part of the process. And that's the real secret, isn't it? The less you have to decide to study, the more likely you are to actually do it.
Definitely, because willpower is a limited resource. If I've had a long day, my willpower is gone. But if the English is already happening around me, I just go with the flow.
We've talked a lot about the daily stuff, the X's on the calendar, the one sentence, but I want to zoom out for a minute. Let's talk about the monthly review.
Sounds formal, like an office meeting.
No, it's way more fun than that. It's about celebrating. See, if you only look at the day-to-day, you might feel like you're standing still. But when you look at a whole month of tracking, wow.
I see what you mean. It's like looking at a photo of yourself from 5 years ago. You don't notice yourself changing in the mirror every day, but when you see the old photo, you're like, whoa, I look totally different.
Precisely. A monthly review is like that old photo. At the end of every month, I suggest my students look back through their journal and their calendar. Count the check marks. Read what you wrote 4 weeks ago.
I bet that's a huge confidence booster. You probably see sentences from the beginning of the month and think, wow, I didn't even know that word back then, and now I'm using it every day.
Exactly. It's about visualizing the win. You're giving yourself proof that you are growing. And you know what else it does? It helps you adjust.
Adjust? In what way?
Well, maybe you noticed that every Wednesday for the last month, you missed your English practice. Every single Wednesday.
Ah, okay. So instead of just feeling bad about it, you can look at the data and say, okay, Wednesdays are clearly too busy for me. I'm going to stop trying to study on Wednesdays and make it my day off.
Exactly. You're using the tracker to be kind to yourself. You're being realistic. Tracking isn't about being a robot. It's about learning your own rhythm.
That's such a healthy way to look at it. It takes the guilt out of the equation. It's not a failure, it's just data.
Spot on. Data over drama.
Data over drama. I'm going to write that down. That should be on a t-shirt.
I'd buy that shirt. But seriously, when you visualize those wins, whether it's 20 check marks or a full page of notes, it fuels your motivation for the next month. You start thinking, if I did this in October, imagine where I'll be in December.
It creates momentum, and momentum is the most powerful force in language learning. Once you're moving, it's much easier to stay moving.
So we've covered a lot of ground today, haven't we, Jack? From red markers on calendars to habit stacking with your morning coffee.
We really have. And you know, Emma, the biggest thing I'm taking away from this conversation is that English isn't just a subject you study, it's a life you build, one small check mark at a time.
Ah, I love that. A life you'd build. That is so true. It's easy to get overwhelmed by the big goal of fluency, but fluency is just a collection of 1,000 tiny, consistent moments.
Exactly. So for everyone listening, especially our intermediate learners who might be feeling like they're stuck on a plateau, don't worry about being perfect. Just worry about being present.
Show up, even if it's just for 5 minutes. Write that one sentence, mark that one X on your calendar. And remember what we said, data over drama. If you miss a day, don't beat yourself up. Just don't miss twice.
Right. Use the tools we talked about today. Find a buddy, set those specific reminders on your phone, and most importantly, look back at the end of the month and celebrate how far you've come. You're doing better than you think you are.
They really are. And hey, we want to hear from you. What is one tool you're going to start using this week? Are you going to start a language journal or maybe find a practice partner? Let us know in the comments. We read every single one, and it honestly makes our day to see your progress.
It really does. Your stories are what keep us motivated to keep making these episodes.
Absolutely. Well, I think that's a wrap for today's episode of the Listen, Speak, Learn English podcast. Thank you so much for spending your time with us. It's an honor to be a part of your journey.
Definitely. Keep tracking, keep speaking, and most of all, keep enjoying the process. We'll be right here with you.
Until next time, happy learning, everyone. Bye-bye.
See ya!
Let's continue your English journey together. Subscribe for more lessons, and watch this video next to practice your listening.